Happy to welcome you here today to the site of our entrance to the North Side Interceptor Tunnel, which is right over here. We have some exciting announcements for you today, and we're happy that it's happening here in Akron. So you're going to hear from a few speakers this morning, starting with Congresswoman Amelia Sykes, then U.S. EPA Assistant Administrator for Water, Bruno Piggott, Akron Mayor Shamus Malik, and our watershed superintendent for Summit Metro Parks, as well as the co-founder of Friends of the Crooked River, Elaine Marsh. Just a couple of points for today's agenda. Following today's press conference, you'll have an opportunity for individual interviews with any of our speakers, and you'll also be able to get footage or photos of the tunnel entrance right over here if you so desire. And then afterwards, the shuttles will take you back down to your cars, so don't worry, you won't have to wade through any mud. And then you're going to be able to, you have an opportunity if you'd like to meet with some of our Akron water teams who are going to do a lead line removal, which is really exciting here in Akron, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. So you'll have that opportunity if you'd like. At this time, it's my pleasure to welcome up Congresswoman Amelia Sykes.
Hello and good afternoon or good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure to be with you today on this beautiful fall day. In case you weren't aware, it is always like this in Ohio's 13th Congressional District. So you're welcome to come, and we hope that you decide to live here if you don't already. But I'm Amelia Sykes. I am the Congresswoman representing Ohio's 13th Congressional District, and I'm very excited about today. I'm very excited about this announcement and that all of you are here to join us in announcing $3.6 billion. Let me say that again. $3.6 billion with a B dollars in water infrastructure across the country, made possible by the bipartisan infrastructure law. I am excited because as the only Ohioan on the United States House of Representatives Transportation and Infrastructure Committee and the vice ranking member on the Water Resources and the Environment Subcommittee, this is a very, very special project. I get a very special view of what happens in water infrastructure across the country and particularly around the state. And this is a great day for all of us, not just in Ohio's 13th Congressional District, but all over the nation. I'm pleased to be here with EPA Assistant Administrator of Water, Bruno Piggott, who is no stranger to the 13th Congressional District. He was here just about a year ago, announcing tens of millions of dollars to the City of Canton Water Department. Also joined by Akron Mayor Shamus Malik, clean water advocate Elaine Marsh, and a legend, as you'll soon learn more about her. It's all to celebrate the announcement of this $3.6 billion in new funding to help upgrade wastewater and stormwater infrastructure. Everyone in this country needs to know that when they turn on the tap, that when the water comes out, it'll be clean. And the Biden-Harris administration has made water central to their Investing in America agenda and the funding from the bipartisan infrastructure law that continues to supercharge state and municipal efforts to improve water infrastructure. This $3.6 billion, combined with the $2.6 billion for clean drinking water announced earlier this month, totals a combined $6.2 billion to help communities across the country upgrade water infrastructure, which is essential to safely managing wastewater, protecting local freshwater resources, and delivering safe drinking water to homes, schools, and businesses. Specifically, here in Ohio, we will receive $169 million from this round of funding. Municipalities will have the opportunity to apply for grants from the Ohio EPA to utilize these funds to improve water infrastructure across the state. But most importantly, this infrastructure project and these dollars are putting people to work, including Jarmika, who I just met outside as we were getting on the bus, who is a member of Labor's Local 894. So not only is this funding investing in our infrastructure, it's investing in our community and investing in our families. This is our community, and these resources are making communities like Ohio's 13th District strong, vibrant, and lively all over. And it's fitting that we're here in Akron today for this announcement, because protecting bodies of water is not new to us, or new as a challenge for us either. The new North Side Interceptor Tunnel behind us here will help reduce sewer overflows, protect the Cuyahoga River, and uphold local water quality. I am certainly proud to represent our community in Congress, and I'm even more proud to be in such a pivotal role as a member of the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee to talk about what Akron is doing to be a beacon of hope and engineering feats all across the country. I am very proud of the city of Akron, and I think that they deserve a round of applause for all of the work that they do. I look forward to seeing all of the water projects that will be funded through this $3.6 billion allotment. And I am grateful for the partnership of all of our local governments, our state government, including the Ohio EPA. We have Mayor Don Walters of Cuyahoga Falls, and including the Biden-Harris administration, who certainly helped this all be possible. And the thing that no one ever thanks, Congress. The impact that we will have across communities in this country is sort of unbelievable, but very much necessary. And I'm so glad to be a part of this announcement, but most importantly, to be a part of this community who is leading the way and showing how we can invest in clean water, clean infrastructure, and most importantly, good local labor jobs to uphold our communities and make our residents stronger. So I am going to turn the program over to Stephanie, or I can just give it over to the mayor. Sorry.
Thank you, Congresswoman, and thank you for your incredible advocacy and support, not only for the city of Akron, but for Northeast Ohio in general. At this time, it is my pleasure to welcome up U.S. EPA Assistant Administrator for Water, Bruno Pickett.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am honored to be here alongside Congresswoman Sykes, a wonderful champion for water. It's great to see you. I also want to say thank you to Akron and Mayor Malik for hosting us today and the work you do every day for your community. I know how hard it is. I served on a city council some time ago, and I know that the work you do never ends. At the end of the day, somebody's still giving you a call, bumping into you at the grocery store, asking for a favor or something that needs to be done. The work of a city council and a mayor is never done, and I really appreciate the work you're doing. I also want to say thanks to Elaine Marsh for continued advocacy here in Northeast Ohio, and it is just one of the ways that we make a big difference is by continuing to work by advocates to ensure that we do the job we're all here to do, which is protect our water quality. And this is just a perfect spot for this announcement today. On the banks of the Cuyahoga River, we stand beside a living reminder about the strides that we've made to protect water in this country. But progress hasn't been without its challenges. We've seen years of underinvestment in our infrastructure, underinvestment that has led us to having aging systems, broken water mains, underwhelmed stormwater and wastewater systems, and continued health risks as a result from lead service lines that were installed decades and sometimes 100 years ago. And that's exactly why the Biden-Harris administration made water central to the Investing in America agenda. Today, I'm here in Akron to announce the next round of funding from the Biden-Harris administration's bipartisan infrastructure law. As Congresswoman Sykes said, $3.6 billion in new funding to help upgrade wastewater and stormwater infrastructure and address emerging contaminants. This is in addition to the $2.6 billion for drinking water that was announced earlier this month. Every single dollar of these investments translates to high quality, prevailing wage construction jobs and more operators, laborers, engineers, plumbers, electricians, and countless other public sector municipal workers that will care for our communities for decades to come. This funding ensures that government continues to work for the people here on the streets of Akron and all across the country. Local government, these public services and public sector workers, and I'm proud to have been one my entire career, who make progress possible. They're the real foundation of our communities. They build vibrant communities. So I just want to say thank you to all of the public servants here today. And before I yield my time, I think it's important to point out that progress is not a new concept in Akron. When it comes to Protecting local water bodies, Akron is making significant strides. The Northeast Interceptor Tunnel that we're standing in front of is central to the city's efforts to reduce combined sewer overflows and better protect the Cuyahoga. I travel to cities all over the country, and sewer overflows are a challenge that many communities around the country are dealing with in terms of degrading water quality, making it dangerous for people to swim and recreate, putting our pets and wildlife at risk. But here in Akron, the city's working to leverage the federal funding that we receive with state and federal dollars to address this issue. On the drinking water side of things, your work is truly a shining example for the rest of the country. This month, October, is Children's Health Month. It's time to redouble our efforts to protect the health and well-being of our children so that they can focus on what's important: learning, playing, and developing into our future leaders. This week is specifically Lead Pollution Prevention Week, so it's a great time to recognize Akron's leadership on lead. Because of your proactive approach, this city is currently replacing the final 1,800 active lead service lines remaining in Akron. Give yourselves a hand. It's a huge accomplishment. This is exactly the type of innovation that the Biden-Harris administration envisioned when they set their goal of 100% removal of lead pipes across the country. You know, the president made that announcement just a few days ago, and there you turn around and a week later, Akron's done it. It's amazing. It's great work, Akron. Water is such a vital issue to build a thriving community. And you know, it's really a local issue. It's an issue that is tackled every community, one community at a time. And through your efforts, you are ensuring a safer Akron and a safer nation. Thank you so much. I can't tell you how much I appreciate being a part of this today. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you to our Assistant Administrator for Water. And thank you for recognizing Akron and the progress that we've made here. We certainly appreciate you choosing Akron to make your announcement. At this time, to brag a little bit more about Akron, I'd like to welcome up Akron Mayor Shamus Malik.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, welcome to Akron. And Administrator, thank you so much for being here with us today. You know, it's amazing. We are in the middle of a city, and it doesn't look like it, but it's because this is an amazing resource that our community has stewarded. I love it so much. I got married just on the other side of this park just 2.5 weeks ago on a day that was just like today. You can't order better weather. I also want to thank our partners who've joined us, Lisa King from Summit Metro Parks, our mayor of Cuyahoga Falls, Don Walters, our state representative, Veronica Sims, and partners from the county and beyond. Thank you so much for being here with us today. So we're very proud of the work that Akron has done when it comes to water and our wastewater and sewer infrastructure over the years. We've made outstanding progress in recent years, and once this north side interceptor tunnel is done, we'll be capturing 99% of wet weather flows and reducing Akron's combined sewer overflow events by 99.7%. So Administrator Piggott rightfully mentioned the Cuyahoga River's past as the river on fire, but through the work of cities like Akron, funding from partners like the EPA and the Biden-Harris administration, support from tireless advocates like our Congresswoman Amelia Strong Sykes, the passion and knowledge of activists and advocates like Elaine Marsh. In 2019, the Cuyahoga River was named River of the Year by American Rivers and was designated as an Ohio water trail by the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. So you can call it a comeback, but if I could also continue talking about our lead-free work. The City of Akron, under the guidance of our previous Public Utilities Bureau Manager, Dave Crandall, began removing lead pipes in the 1960s, well before there were regulations about the requirements there. And as the administrator mentioned, we are only 1,800 lead lines away from that goal. And after today's demonstration, after the press conference, we'll be even closer to that goal. I want to thank the folks in public utilities. I want to thank particularly the previous mayor under Mayor Horrigan who really made this a focus. So thank you very much. So these bipartisan infrastructure law funds flow through our clean water and drinking water state revolving funds. They're a long-standing federal-state partnership. What we're talking about today is true partnership between our federal, state, and local governments. And for more than 30 years, we've used these funds to get low-cost financing options. The first time Akron utilized these funds was actually way back in 1995 when I was 4 years old. Here in Ohio, that funding comes through the Ohio EPA Water Pollution Control Loan Fund and the Water Supply Revolving Loan Account, acronyms I have learned to pronounce and remember very constantly over the last 10 months as I sign almost daily loan agreement paperwork. And our Ohio EPA is a fantastic partner in making that funding accessible. The funding announcement today is exactly what our country needs to be able to move forward, to be able to secure the future of important resources like this, to make sure that our systems, our water and sewer systems are not overwhelmed, to make sure that we are prioritizing environmental sustainability and health for all of our residents, and affordability for all of our residents. So whether we're removing lead lines, building new wastewater infrastructure, or protecting our water supply, we rely on the collaboration of these partners to get it done. And I'm not going to finish this without thanking the folks who are making this happen. I talk about, we have a 2,000 person team at City Hall, and so many of those team members are in our service department. Whether it's water, sewer, engineering, you folks are the ones who are driving this forward, right? You are the ones who are making this change possible. I just walked into our other tunnel over the weekend, and it is a marvel of engineering. And you should be so proud of the work you're doing. So with those folks who work for the City of Akron or are contractors for us, raise your hand. We'd like to recognize you. Two more things and I'm done. I cannot finish this without talking about the advocacy of our Congresswoman. Administrator, you talked about it being difficult to be on local government, but here in our Congresswoman, we have a leader who never hesitates to answer the phone, who is always there when you have a question, when you have a concern, who is there listening, who is there providing advice and guidance. And we are so lucky to have you as our Congresswoman. So what really is this hole that we're looking at over here, right? This will be our north side interceptor tunnel that is going to replace a lot of combined sewers and are one of the oldest sections of town in North Hill. And so we are going to have a huge boring machine that comes in and really drives forward progress. And so we thought as we were deciding who to name it after, we would name it after somebody who is driving forward progress. An amazing advocate, a founder of Friends of the Crooked River, who is leading the change of removing the Gorge Dam, who is really an inspiration to so many folks in this community. Ladies and gentlemen, Elaine Marsh.
So why we are here today? Water is life. All the water that is here now is all the water that will ever be. They ain't making any more of it. It flows through our bodies, our communities, our businesses, our homes, and our baby's bathwater. It flows across our landscape into our sewers and treatment works where it is cleaned and returned to our renewed waterways. It's used, recycled, and reused. The same water that supports life here now is the same water that supported life since it's been here billions of years ago, and the same water that will continue to support life as long as it is here on our planet. Our job here in Akron is to keep clean water flowing from the Cuyahoga River down to Lake Erie and to ensure that the benefits of clean water are available to us now and to future generations. I stand here as a placeholder for the scores of organizations and the hundreds of thousands of citizens who have loved and advocated for the Cuyahoga River. And we're all here today to celebrate the Biden-Harris administration's bipartisan infrastructure law and its investments in the Akron region. Since 1998, I have served as a city-appointed member to various advisory groups related to Akron's integrated plan for wastewater infrastructure. The projects in these plans have amounted to an investment of over $1 billion in Akron's water treatment. And I've been so impressed with the city's process. The city continues to be meticulous in their science-based research, forward thinking in their technology and green infrastructure implementation, very forthcoming in their public outreach, and diligent in their cost containment efforts. Putting this plan into effect has been challenging both for the city and for the sewer ratepayers. The State Revolving Loan Fund has been a bright spot in the funding of this expensive program. The bipartisan infrastructure law's emphasis on underserved communities has given cities like Akron a step up in application for these funds. You know, it takes serious commitments by all sectors of the clean water community, the utilities, the regulators, the enforcers, and the funders to ensure that citizen and ratepayers get the best clean water outcome for their extensive investments. The city's efforts have paid off, as have the clean water investments from other Cuyahoga communities. We have a river today we couldn't possibly have imagined 50 years ago. Last year, a bigmouth buffalo, a native fish never recorded before in Summit County, was discovered at the mouth of the Little Cuyahoga, once considered one of the most polluted spots on our river. Last week, the Ohio Department of Natural Resources and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service released Lake Sturgeon into the Cuyahoga River. This enormous prehistoric fish, once a frequent visitor to the Cuyahoga, since extricated by pollution, may once again swim and procreate in our waters. Or, as Bill Zawiski, one of the best friends of the Cuyahoga River, has said, that someday sturgeon may be cruising our river looking for love. As a familiar voice in the Cuyahoga community, somebody asked me to write a paragraph on the current situation of our river. This is what I wrote. The Cuyahoga River is a short, shallow, slow-moving, geologically insignificant river. Yet it is blazed into the conscience of the country as a symbol of environmental degradation and rebirth. From river that burned to river that turned from a water course nearly devoid of life to a living stream that is in full attainment of aquatic life standards. Turned from a neglected sewer to a prized quality of life resource. Turned from a disease-ridden cesspool to an Ohio designated water trail. Turned from an issue of defamation and scorn to a subject of research, reform, and value. The endeavor has taken 50 years, legal reform, and enormous financial investment, countywide effort, and a complete realignment of the social values of clean water. This chapter in our river's tale is both gratifying and cautionary. Present trends will be sustained only as long as water is supported by strong public policy and adequate investment in clean water infrastructure. So, may I say, on behalf of the scores of organizations, hundreds of thousands of river lovers, and on behalf of the otter, the mink, the fish, the birds, the insects, the macroinvertebrates, microorganisms, and plants that make up our healthy aquatic system, we all say thanks for the money. And keep it coming. Water is life. Thank you.
That was great. Thank you so much for that. At this time, we are going to make it available if you'd like to go get some photos or B-roll over here of our Northside Interceptor tunnel entrance. You can do so. If you'd like to get some interviews with any of our speakers today, please feel free to come forward and grab somebody. Our shuttles are available over here to take you back down to your car. We're going to do the lead line removal at 1147 Linden Avenue. Is that right, Jeff? Yes. And that'll be happening in about half an hour or so. So just make sure you make your way over there if you are interested in that and join our speakers over at that lead line removal. Thank you so much. That concludes the press conference.